Hi, my name is Skyla Ramirez. Welcome to our Yoga for Everybody session today. Let's get started. Finding any standing position for our bodies. Let's just start with opening up the chest and lengthening through the spine. On the inhale, circle, sweep those arms back. Reach up through the fingertips. On the exhale, turn the palms forward and circle back with the palms open. Let's do a few more like that. Circle sweeping around, reaching up, palms are facing in, then palms forward, circle sweep back. So we are working on correcting the posture in the upper spine and hopefully working with some stabilization and range of motion in the shoulders. Let's add our breath to this movement. Inhale, circle sweeping up. Big breath in, palms forward, exhale from your throat. Just a nice big sigh of relief. Let's try two more. Big inhale, reach. Palms forward, exhale back. One more, big inhale. And exhale back and around. Circle sweeping those hands. Let's take the feet in to hips width distance. From our feet at hips width distance, let's extend the arms up and overhead. Nice big breath in, palms are facing in. Stepping our left foot back, a casual stride and bending the right knee, holding warrior one pose. While we're here, we might want to reach up a little more with the right hand and then reach up a little more with the left hand as if we're going to climb a rope, keeping that active. Bend in the right knee, left leg straight. We're attempting to stretch some of those muscles on the side trunk of the body that connect to the hips. These are muscles that can get tight whenever we have to sit for a prolonged period of time. And it's so important to loosen those muscles up as they can interfere with healthy digestion and other healthy organ functions. So we're just imagining we're climbing a rope, reaching up and out of the ribs and out of your armpits. Let's come to a still point, holding traditional warrior one. From here, we're sweeping the arms back behind us, holding the hands back by our low back. We could lace the fingers together and press back with a fist, maybe allowing the ribs, the chest, and the heart to protrude out forward, or let the hands rest, knuckles by the low back, creating some softness in your shoulders. Keeping that bend in our right knee, no matter where those hands are. Let's draw the shoulders back over the hips. Maybe even let your weight lean back into the left foot. As we inhale, let's pull the elbows back a little more. Lift up through the heart and the sternum and open the throat. Take a big breath in. Exhale, soften your ribs. Two more like this. One big inhale. And soften. Just one more big breath in. And now soften. From here, keeping that right knee bent and left leg straight back behind us. We're inhaling our arms straight up and overhead, establishing again a nice long neutral spine. As we exhale, let's take our arms out to the side with the palms facing down. Then reach the hands back behind your body just for a moment. Continue to lengthen out through the spine. This is an airplane pose expression with warrior one foundation. Let's bring our hands down onto our right thigh, turning the left fingertips towards the right. From here, straightening both legs, we may want to come down a little more. Let's draw our right hand onto the right hip, or maybe the right knuckles to the low back. We are going to take this into a deeper twist, not only to really stretch out the right hip, but also to detox. This is going to wring out the intestines. On the next inhale, pull the right shoulder back, imagining that the top of your shoulder is twisting and facing the ceiling. Maybe reach across with that left hand a little more towards the outside of the right leg. Keep pressing into the inner blades of the feet. Continue to push the hips back and to change the stretch just slightly. You are always welcome to lower down just a little more. Continue to draw the left shoulder towards your right leg, maybe even feeling as if that left shoulder pulls over the right knee. We can look over our right shoulder, beginning to work on strengthening through the neck and the shoulder girdle, or we could look down at the floor. If you start to feel a little wobbly, there is definitely a balance challenge in this as we are stretching along those hips and we're creating some energy that spirals through the spine. Inhale into that upper right lung, draw the shoulder back a little more. One more breath here. And now exhale, slowly come around, both hands onto that right leg, bending our right knee and straightening it just a few times, just checking in with those muscles that maybe bind around the kneecap. We were stretching along the side of the knee and it could pull the patella or the knee joint around just a little bit. So let's find some neutral flexion, extension movement in that right knee. Just a couple more. From here, keeping the knee bent with a flat back, let's circle the arms up. Visiting warrior one pose again, this time looking straight ahead, pressing into the inner and outer blades of the feet with the same amount of effort and energy. Closing the eyes as we work with endurance in the spine. Focusing on the breath, we inhale into the nose, down into the belly, and fully fill the lungs all the way up to your heart. When the breath gets into the heart, maybe reach just a little more. Staying here for at least one more big breath with plenty of time to be mindful about filling the lungs from the belly, through the ribs, reaching at the top of the heart. And now exhale, relax the hands down. And let's step to center, finding our feet open to the width of our pelvis or hip bones, rolling the shoulders down and back, establishing a strong, neutral spine in mountain. When your body is ready, we're stepping our right foot back this time, bending our left knee. Inhaling, bringing the arms straight up overhead, holding it here, warrior one pose, keeping that healthy bend in our left knee. One big breath in, reach. Exhale, one more big inhale. Exhale, circle the arms back. Option to let the knuckles rest by the low back, maybe even pulling the elbows back and allowing the ribs to protrude out. This is our corrective exercise for our upper back and spine to prevent rounding in the spine. We have to pull it way back, and then when we're not thinking about it, hopefully our muscle memory is neutral. So exaggerating that pull with your ribs. Of course, we could lace the fingers and lengthen the arms back behind us, maybe even press that fist behind your tailbone back. No matter where we are with those hands, let's lift the chin and focus on the breath. 3 big inhales into the center of the chest. Inhaling big, exaggerating the breath around the heart. Exhale, allowing the body to soften. Inhaling, lots of energy. Exhaling, opposite energy, softening. Inhaling, really dynamic. Exaggerate the breath. And then exhale, relax. Let's extend the arms up overhead. And now exhale out to the side, palms facing down, just for a moment, establishing a nice long spine, neutral and stable shoulders. From here, we're shifting forward, bringing both hands down onto our left leg. Let's bring our right hand and we'll turn it in so the fingertips are facing the left leg. Bringing our left hand either to the hip or knuckles by the low back. Keeping that healthy bend in our left knee for now, releasing the hips back and pressing back strong through that right heel. At this point, pull up through the pelvic floor and press into the inner blades of the feet. On the next inhale, we are swiveling at the waist towards the left. Option to hold it here or straighten that left leg as well. This will change the stretch in the body just slightly. We're stretching along the side of the left body, the side of the left hip, and keeping in mind that if you start to feel anything unusual in the knees, maybe back out of that twist a little bit. Let's inhale and draw the left shoulder back, feeling as if we're trying to angle the shoulder up towards the sky. To deepen the stretch on our exhales, we can always slide that right hand down or reach it to the outside of the left leg. Maybe the right hand comes down to the outside of the left knee, keeping any pressure off of that kneecap. At least a couple more inhales here, rolling that left shoulder back, pressing the right shoulder in, maybe feeling as if that right shoulder is attempting to press over the left knee. One more inhale into the left lung. And now exhale, bend the left knee. Let's walk our hands around to our front thigh, keeping those hips pressing back. On the next inhale, is sweeping the arms up and overhead, holding it here, keeping that healthy bend in our left knee. Let's close our eyes just for a moment to tune into any sensations in the leg that we might want to address. We can always stay still, or we could bend and straighten that left leg a few times, keeping our right leg straight. Bending the left knee, right leg straight, more of a calf stretch. Stretching or lengthening that left leg, let the weight rock back into the right foot. So not only are we working a stretch into the body, but there's a little bit of a balance as we continue to shift our center of gravity forward and back. Let's do just a couple more, checking in with that knee joint, giving it some healthy flexion and extension. Maybe just one more, bending the knee, straight leg reach. Exhale, come forward, relax the hands. Let's step both feet in to about the width of the hips, having our toes forward. Inhaling, sweeping the arms up and overhead, big breath in. Let's lace our fingers together, invert the palms, and push up towards the sky. Lean over to the left, maybe just 1 or 2 inches, not too much of a lean. Let's bend our elbows, so maybe even just hovering the knuckles above the crown of the head. On the next inhale, we reach with the left elbow up to the sky, keeping that healthy bend in our elbows, further opening up under the armpit, and stretching those muscles that are over and under the rib cage. We can look to the right, inhale into the upper left lung, pull the left elbow up. Exhale, feel that energy soften a little. One more, big breath in. And exhale, bring it to center. Press the arms up overhead, big inhale. Exhale, bend the elbows, lean to the left this time, reaching with our right elbow. Inhale, pull up with that right elbow. Exhale naturally as the lungs release the breath, the muscles are going to tighten up and shrink a little. Inhale, press up with the right elbow. Look to the left. Exhale, relax. Just 2 more like this. Push into the right foot. Inhale, pull up with the right elbow. Exhale, center. Just 1 more. Big breath in into the right side of the body. Exhale, bring it to center. Inhale, press up. Exhale, take the arms down and away from the body. Just clear the space around you. Let's try 3 circle sweeping breaths again. Finding some symmetry in the body, sweep the arms up, palms facing in, palms forward, exhale, circle, sweep back. 2 more. Option to close the eyes, tune into the breath, wean the nervous system off of all of the distractions, all of the different sensory stimuli around us. Closing the eyes, just giving the brain a little break. And then exhale, relax. Let's take our feet out wider than the hips, turning our heels in and toes out. We're bending our knees. Let's look down to see that when our knees bend, the knees are moving in the same direction as our toes. This is a sign that we have a healthy, neutral knee joint. No twisting in that knee joint. Bringing our hands to the hips, we're pushing our hips back as we bend our knees in the same direction as our toes. Now, depending on the clothes that we have on today, we may notice that we don't go down really low because we want to definitely make sure that our garments stay nice and pressed. From here, you can come down as low as your clothing permits. Just know that a little goes a long way with this. What we're really attempting to do more than anything else is to create mobility in the pelvis and the low back, where there is normally a lot of pressure when we sit. So from here with the hips back, we're coming down with a fairly flat back. Hands on the hips so that we are recruiting more core muscle strength. From here, straightening the legs, pulling forward with the tailbone, and maybe tucking under for a moment, contracting the glutes and lifting the ribs, opening the throat. Let's try that just a little faster now that our body has rehearsed it. Inhale, lift through the heart. Exhale, bend the knees, push the hips back. Inhale, rising up, tailbone tuck, lift the ribs and throat. Exhale, neutral spine, push the hips back. Adding in the arms if you're like. Elbows are by the ribs, fingers are out. We call these cactus arms. Inhale, rising up. Option to lift the chin, pull up through the ribs, maybe even lean back just a little bit. And then exhale, pull those elbows in and push the hips back, knees bending in the same direction as the toes. Let's try just 2 more, hopefully making some space in the spine to relieve any pressure that could be stuck in the vertebral column. Inhale, open, lift. Exhale, down. Just 1 more, big breath in, lifting the ribs. And then exhale down. From here, let's keep the hands on the thighs, keeping those knees bent. We're just gonna drop our left shoulder forward, keeping both knees bent. The left arm is straight, pushing, maybe on the inside of that left thigh. Bend the left elbow and look over bring the right elbow, look over the right shoulder. Inhale, coming through center. Both arms are straight. Let's drop the right shoulder in, keeping that right arm straight, maybe pushing on the inside of the right leg. Bend the left elbow and look over the left shoulder. Inhaling through center. Exhale, drop the left shoulder, bending the right arm. Inhale, center. Dropping the right shoulder, bending the left arm. Just 1 more on each side. Inhale, center. Exhale, left shoulder drop. Inhale, center. Exhale, right shoulder drop. So we are trying to isolate some muscles in what we call the QL. It's a section in the low back that wraps around, even possibly affecting the sciatic nerve. Let's come to center. From here, bring the hands up. Walk the feet into touching. keeping a little space between the heels. Let's work with strengthening the upper back. Bringing our hands into fist. We're circling the elbows and arms back, placing the flat part of our knuckles and fist low on the back. As we inhale, pull the elbows in. Imagine that you're trying to pinch a golf ball or a pencil between the shoulder blades. Inhale, pull the breath up, all the way up to the sternum and the throat, pulling up the breath until we feel that naturally the chin wants to lift and open. This would simply be a natural extension of the spine with the inflation of the lungs. Exhale, the spine will naturally soften forward. 2 more like that, pulling up the breath. Zip it up from the midline, inhale into the heart, open the throat, pause at the top of the inhale, pull the elbows back, squeeze behind the heart. Exhale, let it all relax. Just 1 more. Inhale, navel into the spine, pull the breath into the heart. Open the throat. Look up, maybe with just the eyes shifted towards the ceiling, or maybe tilt the head back, chin up a little more. Exhale, bring it to center. From here, relax your hands, open up the feet. Let's take this into a few easy sways, left and right. As we move into this gentle sway, not only are we working with improving our body's center of balance, but we're also opening the hip joint. As we sway to the right, we're actually strengthening that left hip a little bit. This is called an abduction, but it is a weight-bearing abduction to strengthen the hip. And you might feel the stretch here on the right. In its essence, we're opening that right hip. Let's bring it to center, sway over to the left. So now we are abducting ever so passively or kindly, strengthening that outer hip joint with an abduction. We might feel the stretch on the left. This stretch is actually opening that hip. Let's bring it to center, sway it to the right. Just 1 more time on each side. Inhale, center. Exhale, left. Hold it there. Bring it to center. And now push the hips back, finding a little symmetry in the front and back of the hip now. I think we talked about this before. When we say we're going to work the hips, we never know what we're really going to work because there's inner hip, outer hip. Press your hip forward, lean back, try to pull the ribs up. We have inner hip, outer hip, front of the hip, back of the hip. And now come forward. Let's walk our feet in, shake it off. In closing, let's just do a quick round of cupping on the body to help improve circulation. Arms out, take 1 hand over and just cup all the way up to your shoulder. Flip that hand over down to the wrist. We're always cupping in towards the heart or towards the gut. Other side, cup over, up to the shoulder, palm up from the wrist. Bring it in. Let's take it now from the armpits. We're gonna take it to the armpit, bring it under the rib and to the belly. Other side, armpit under the rib and into the belly. Taking the feet out, little bend in the knees, push the hips back, cupping from the inside of the knee, up on top of the thigh, into the pelvic crease area by the gut. 1 more. Cup it from the inside of those knees up to the tops of the quads and then into the belly. From here, stand in any neutral position, open the hands, bring the wrist higher than the heart. And we're just gonna quickly pump the hands. So we're making a fist and then we're opening the hand just a few times. This pumping action hopefully is going to help us, just like an actual pump. It's gonna help push any lymphatic fluid that might be stuck, draining from the head, neck, face, and throat. We want it to dump down into this thoracic region. So just keep pumping a few times. 3, 2, 1. Now relax it all off. Let's find some unifying breaths to close today. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Big breath in. Exhale, sweep it back. Clear out the energy in your personal space. Breathe in, big breath. Exhale back. One more time. Breathe in, big breath. And then exhale, let it go. From here, we can close together. Thank you for being here today, everyone. Go enjoy your beautiful day. Remember, we have Tuesdays and Thursdays at noon where we are doing tapping. We are actually tapping into parts of the nervous system that affect our psyche, promoting a more optimal emotional regulation. So join me for those tapping or those EFT sessions. They only take about 10 minutes. Have a great day.